What's up, everybody? Mark with Cardbox Academy here, and today we're checking out Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. Now, I'm interested in this one for a couple reasons. If you are not new to the channel, you know that Sleep Token has been a little bit of a hard sell on me. Now, before everybody gets mad, I've always recognized the talent. I've always been like, dang, these folks are very good at what they do. But after Thread the Needle, which was a long time ago, I kind of just lost track. I was like, hey, these dudes are doing their thing. They're doing a really good job. Not really for me. But with this new album coming out, it's actually already dropped, I think a couple days ago. People are like, nah, you got to give it another try. You got to check it out. And I have found that with each song I've reacted to, Vor was the last one, I do like Sleep Token more. So I'm opening up to the Sleep Token thing. I don't know if I'm ever going to be, number one fanboy, but there's a lot of talent here, and there's a lot of fun things to talk about. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Mark. I am a metal vocalist. I am the vocalist of a band called Kardashev. We are on Metal Blade Records, released an album back in June. Check it out if you want. And I am a vocal coach. Now, I teach 95% harsh vocals. Teach people how to do stuff like, safely and efficiently, and making all sorts of cool noises. I do teach clean singing lessons as well, far less frequently, just because I really love metal vocals. So there's that. But when I do these videos, I pause, I talk about vocal technique. With Sleep Token, there is a lot of like pop influence. There's a lot of contemporary influence, which does have some crossover to harsh metal vocals, but I'm certainly reaching across the aisle a little bit. So it's always kind of fun. This is not exactly my specialty, but there's going to be a lot I'm able to talk about. So that's all I know. Let's check out Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. Here we go.
I dream in phosphorescence, bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fall, but no one told you where to go.
Okay, so it's actually a pretty decent place to stop. 1 minute and 41 seconds. Holy crap, this song is 8 minutes and 20 seconds long. Whew. Okay, well, that's actually good because I really love long songs. I like, if a song's 15 minutes, I'm gonna be pretty into it. Let's talk a little bit of vocal technique. So one thing that I'm really enjoying about their singer right now, I know he's got a name associated with his persona and everything, but I don't remember what it is. One thing that I'm really enjoying about their singer, and I think that he has really grown into, from what I'm hearing. Now, again, I wasn't that involved in the middle, so I'm really thinking like all the way back to Thread the Needle to today, right? So understand I do have that gap. But one thing I think he's really improved in, from what I'm hearing, and he's really mastered, is his storytelling, right? There are a lot of cool things that he's doing. The first one, which is kind of obvious, and the first one I want to pay attention to, is the way he's changing and this is kind of a slippery term, the level of compression or breathiness that we can think about in the voice, right? Now, he's saying, I don't remember I'm hearing this for the first time, so I don't remember the melody. I'm not going to try to sing along to it or anything. But I think the lyrics were "try to breathe," and instead of being like really connected, "try to breathe," right? He sighed it out a little. "Try to breathe," right? So that's cool storytelling right there. He's also doing little things that maybe aren't directly related to storytelling, but I am enjoying. One is like he did this like little stutter stop on a syllable. Like let's say the word was try. Again, I don't remember what it was, but he doesn't say just like, try. He says try, right? Try. And that was kind of cool. I didn't expect that. He's also adding a little bit of vocal fry in the middle of words, which is cool. You hear a lot of people lead into their words with like a little glissando and a little vocal fry. It's very like 90s pop, early 2000s pop. But he's doing it here. There's a lot of dynamic movement of the vocal tract too, right? He's closing if we think of the vocal tract, and this is not like the best analogy, but as like a candy cane, right? We got like a candy cane, and the top of that candy cane, we can sort of morph the shape, the front and the back of the mouth. He's doing a lot of back and forth, closing the whole thing, opening just the front, opening just the back, opening all of it. And that's really accentuating and adding a lot of exaggerative emotion to the voice. Now, when I say exaggerative, I don't mean that badly, right? Listen, I'm a metal vocalist. We're all gas all the time. So when I'm talking about maximal things, I don't mean it badly. I mean it as a compliment. There's a lot of his voice is like dripping with emotion right here. And it's because he's leaning a lot on dynamics. The melody so far is fairly simple. And again, I love simple things. So whenever I say that with these really popular bands, people are like, how dare you compliment him in a way that doesn't match how I compliment him, blah, 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 blah. But what I'm saying is well-written melody with heavy vocal dynamics is creating great storytelling and a good conveying of emotion. So if you're mad at that, I don't know. See a therapist. Here we go.
Sharpest teeth, you know my desire. I will travel far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden. Take me back to Eden.
Okay, this is another good place to stop. One thing I'm appreciating this song as a reactor is the transitions are easy to identify. So what I said about the melody, now it's opening up, and that's cool. That's cool, right? We're getting these really nice descending melodies, and he's really playing a lot with brightness, right? Brightness and darkness and warmth, right, on his voice. And what I mean by that, oftentimes when we're talking about vocal tone, right, we're simultaneously talking about resonance, and we can, again, changing the track to this if I could like sum this guy up, at least in this song, I would call him like a vocal tract bender. Like, you've got air benders and fire benders and water benders. I would say that this guy is like a vocal tract bender because he's really manipulating that length and that shape of his oral cavity, even the back, like going down into the top of the throat, the laryngeal funnel there. This space in the back of the mouth is called the pharynx. He's really manipulating it in a way that is maximal but not over dramatic. And I think that that's really cool. I love how he brightened up his voice. You can tell he bared his teeth. He probably like smiled that out as he reached for it. It sounded like a D5, D sharp 5. I don't have like that perfect pitch where you play a note and I can tell you exactly what it is. But leaning into that really heady mix, beautiful, and so easily controlled as well. The reverb tail is so awesome because it makes the sound huge. It adds to this wall of sound, but I almost wish, just for like educational purposes, not to make the song better, but just for educational purposes, right? If it wasn't there, you'd hear that, he's not actually pushing really hard. One of the main mistakes that we make when we start singing, and this is true for high screams as well, right? This is true for high screams as well. We think we have to push really hard and squeeze really hard. But, oftentimes it's really based on relaxation and understanding airflow, right? Relaxation and understanding airflow. One thing that you can do, right, if you're trying to hit some higher notes, is you can sort of like yawn them out, right? And this is more of an exercise than like a precise way to sing them. But like you want to first get down like a good like singing yawn. Now, what I mean by that is oftentimes when we yawn, we'll like drop our larynx down really far, right? So if I yawn without that laryngeal drop, right? What I'm doing is I'm creating a ton of space in the back of my mouth and the top of my throat. And that's going to be able to help us start to approach higher notes. Usually a good place to do this is around your vocal break. If you're like me and you've got vocal anatomy like me, that's probably going to be around like E, F, F sharp, G, that area, right? But you can sort of like, and you'll find that it's easier to hit some notes than it was previously. If it's not, then you're likely squeezing down on your neck really hard. Anyway, really well done. Let's keep going.
Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Mirror talk, fake love, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I have become. My, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire.
One thing that's really important to point out here is that, oftentimes when we're first learning to sing or scream, we're told, open up your vocal tract, do it. And that's important. It's really important. I mean, shit, I just showed you like this way to yawn to just kind of get comfortable with high notes. And then, you don't want to sing exactly like that because you sound goofy. Right. But another thing that is actually really valuable to kind of getting some vocal tone down is mumbling or slurring your speech, right? Just to kind of feel your voice in the front of your mouth, right? So if I was to sing, hey, singing like this, kind of like I'm drunk. Nay, I know I don't know, right? Something like that. You can kind of play around with the way that your voice feels in your mouth. And I think that that's a really important thing for a lot of new singers and new screamers is sometimes it's good to really have a target, like I'm going to hit this note or I'm going to get this tone. Other times it's just really good to roll your voice around in your mouth and see what it feels like. A really good song for this is, I don't remember what it's called. I Can Show You the World from Aladdin, right? Because it's got a fairly predictable melody. It has really good movement, right? I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? Right? Can be really, really valuable. And Sleep Token would be great for you to mumble along to. He's got a certain mumble to his voice, a certain poutiness to his voice, which is really held in the lips, and it sounds really, really cool. As far as like that transition to like that sort of like hip hop moment, it felt a little jarring to me. And before anybody says I don't like hip hop and rap, I think hip hop and rap are creating some of the best songs of the modern era. Look no further than Toby Nwigwe to see that happen. It just felt and that's the thing that I think for me, as much as I think these guys are amazing and deserve all of the fame that they're getting, sometimes I just like on a personal preference level, not a factual man, people, they're like, you're making objective statements. And I'm like, nah, it's not for me. Sometimes I feel like the transitions are a little bit like, a little bit jarring. And I'm a smooth transition kind of guy, but it's not wrong. They're not doing anything bad. It's just like, I don't know. But overall, I think this and Vor are going to very easily be my top Sleep Token tracks. Let's keep going. Nice.
I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. And I don't know what's got its teeth in me, but I'm about to bite back in anger. No amount of self-absorbed fury will bring back the glory of innocence.
I want to point out something that I think is insanely impressive. I don't know how far back I have to go, so I'll edit it. But basically, like, this is really cool. So I know I just kind of made a critical comment about transitions, and then we had an amazing one. But this is really cool. So I want to listen to it again to make sure that I'm correct, right? That's the thing with these first time reactions. You're learning as you go. But what we have is we have a really relaxed, really calm, really sort of cathartic moment here. There's a lot of ambience. It's got like my business partner said, it's got a very cold feeling right here. He also told me that the end of, I think it was this song, has like some black metal going on, so that'll be kind of cool to see. But the drum and the bass have like a little bit of like a genty prog moment, like almost like a, yeah, I know gent's not a genre, but you know what I mean, right? Underneath, it had like this, like it was doing what you would hear in like certain deathcore or more like genty deathcore sounds. There was like this dum dum dum, and normally the guitars would do that, but it was the bass and the drum. Really sick. I want to try to find that again, so I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm sure you all won't mind if we listen to a little bit more of this song, right? I won't. Here we go. Right there. It does something like that. That's sick. That's really, man, if they are foreshadowing what the next section is going to do, mad respect. Listen for that. Listen for that. That's so cool. That is so cool. It's like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, probably, where you're like at a river or like a canal or something, and the top of the water is moving at this speed, and then there's some debris underwater that's moving faster. Like, it kind of feels like that's what this song is doing. You've got I don't know if I'd go as far as to say like it's like, oh, heavy polyrhythms or anything, but like there's an undercurrent of like sinister anticipation that's being caused by that kind of metal moment, but it's an underlying texture versus metal driving the song. And usually when there's metal in a song, it's driving the song because metal is very in your face. So like, dang, I'm here talking about singing, but this might be my favorite part of the song. What the hell? Yeah. That also right there is a really good example of the mumble. Check that out. When he's like, look at my mouth, right? I teach people to, well, mostly do harsh vocals for a living, right? but I'm purposefully keeping my mouth lazy and closed. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah. So, listen. That's a shame. That's a shame. Y'all, I don't know why bands do that. They come up with like maybe not the coolest part of the song, but such a cool part of the song. And they're like, yeah, let's do it for like 12 seconds. Anyway, I get it. It's not the point of the song, but it was super cool. You know, what I have done more frequently than I care to admit on songs like, and I'm going to do it with this song. I will do it with this song. I buy the song, I pull it into like, you know, either Reaper or something else. And I take way more time than I should stitching and sewing it and extending the outro for like 3 minutes. Cause that's the version I want to hear. So I do that all the time. I'm not even very good at it, but that's what I like. Okay. So now we are very much in my territory. Like, you know, obviously, if you listen to Liminal Ride, if you listen to Kardashev, I do plenty of clean singing. You know, I'm very familiar with it, but I view myself as a screamer who sings, not a singer who screams, if that makes any sense. And this is very cool. Now, there's definitely some production here, some exciters, so sometimes it can be kind of hard to hear what's going on. But this sounds like we have two placements of the same type of scream. Let me find it here real quick. So what we have there is kind of like a high or like a low high scream or a high mid scream, right? And there are many ways to approach this scream. The way that I'm going to show you how to approach it is with a technique called false chord. I teach a lot of Fry students. They all do very well, but I myself use mostly false chord, and false chord is like kind of my like specialty. Although a moment of pride for me was when I helped a guy do like the Devin Townsend pitch Fry screams at the end of Deadhead. He was coming in with a lot of experience. He didn't go from 0 to that. But that was a moment of pride. But anyway, so the way I want to talk about this is with false chord, right? So false chord, and if you're unfamiliar with false chord and you'd like to learn it, we do have a course coming out very soon on our website called False Chord Fundamentals, where you can learn all about how to create sounds like, you know, you can learn how to do it. It's pretty cool. But with false chord, we're generally not using our vocal cords to create distortion. A lot of times what people will say, and I've been guilty of this before, is that false chord doesn't use your vocal cords. That's very technically true, but you can include your vocal cords in there if you want to, right? Now, that being said, you should not be generating the distortion on your vocal cords. No reason to do that with false chord. You don't have to, right? So with false chord, we have these tissues above our vocal cords. They're called our vestibular folds or false cords, right? And they are these ligaments that flap around. They can flap around. They do a lot of things. They kick food out. They help with airflow turbulence when we're singing. They do a lot, right? But we can take a basic false chord grunt, hey, hey, oh, yo, right? And we can lift it a little bit by way mostly of resonance and vocal tract shape, you know, right? Now I'm going to add a little bit of voice in there. I'm going to turn my volume. I'll just do it post, right? So I'm here now, right? Right now I've got a little bit of voicing in there. Sounds like that could be a little bit of what's going on. And then he shifts to just more of a voiceless high, which is really cool. By the way, if you are going to, this is my theory, if you are going to be introducing a vocal cord into your scream, I think you should be able to do voiceless screams first, right? That has frustrated some people in the past. When it comes to teaching how to scream, I'm not like the speed coach, right? Some people are like, this person learned his scream in 10 days. And I'm like, are they going to have MTD in 3 years? Sure hope not. You know what I mean? Do they have an understanding of how that distortion is being created and the role of turbulence and the role of relaxation? And no, I don't know. 10 days, it's, hey, so mote it be. But I think it's very important to learn voiceless screams first. So before you go, you know, here, I think you should go, right? Even if that's not the sound you're looking for, because it keeps you safe. Then he lifts into a more of a voiceless scream, right? So I have this, and it's sitting. It's very like it's very masky with an open pharyngeal space. So it's as if I'm saying like, you know, hey, 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 hey. That's the placement I want. And you can hear I'm kind of flirting around with my head voice. I'm letting my voice break up. When I do that, there is a little bit of fry scream sensation mixed in with that. When I lift it, I'm going to increase my support, right? I'm going to hold those ribs out. I'm going to lean into the abdominal muscles, right? And I'm going to create a voiceless scream that's much more tucked up, right? Right? Now, he's not doing a lot of those bells and whistles. It's really a texture here, but you can hear that lift. Let's check it out. He really snarls that E on the last Eden. Take me back to Eden! Take me back to Eden! Yeah, that's gnarly. That's cool. I think I heard Chewbacca just there at the end. It kind of sounds like Chewbacca. All right, well, that's it for Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. I think that's my favorite Sleep Token song now. Even though I wish the outro was longer and that transition in the middle wasn't my favorite. I think that's probably gonna be the last half of that song is really where it's at. They are doing so many cool things, both vocally, both compositionally, in the rhythm section. So many currents going on at the same time without clashing, and that's hard to do. And I have a lot of respect for that. I have respect for people who can do fusion without confusion, right? Learn that on MasterChef. Anyways, that's all I got for you. If you like the content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. if I didn't love Sleep Token in the way that you love Sleep Token, you know, you'll work through it. Look in the mirror, take a deep breath, question yourself. You'll be all right. But yeah, that song was great. Feel free, if you're interested in learning harsh vocals, to toss us an email on our form on our website, or hopefully in the next couple weeks here, we will have our false chord fundamentals course up and running for you to enjoy. All that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me while I check out Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. That's all I know. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.